There we go. Hey everybody, it's your boy SergDragon. Welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters podcast. With me today is your boy Xavier Hill.
Once again, MVP is in the ring, so that can only mean one thing. Big things popping, little things stopping. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the view, because the Heavens Monsters podcast is for people better than you.
Regrettably, I couldn't do this with Team Money because of the fact that our schedules, it's the holiday season, so I was busy and I didn't have enough storage space because I was just filling up my phone, this phone, with wrestling stuff to try and catch up. And because of the long ride, I didn't catch up. Plus, playing Pokemon Go between shifts, I actually had more footage between Pokemon Go as well as Power Rangers Legacy Wars. So he's a member of that group. He knows how much events they come in. So I still have to do an event for that before midnight. So I'll try to do that, plus Bleach Brave Souls. But other than that, that comes later. Right now, let's go ahead and do the Raw on the December 16th and NXT
December 18th.
Thank you. So, first off, we start the show with Seth Rollins and the AOP talking about how he is going to do something as a leader and that the fans are not going to like. And he leaves the ring with AOP, leaving that cliffhanger on us.
So eventually that makes Seth Rollins a heel.
Yeah, he is a heel. Next up, we have the Viking Raiders making an open challenge, I remember that, to anyone of the Raw tag team roster for their titles. It would be the OCs of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson that answers the call. What did you think about them?
I was hoping that the Viking Raiders would win this match.
Mm-hmm. And it would be the OCs becoming the new tag team champions. 1 second. Got a little man muscle here. Yeah, hold up. There you go. I can see why you were having difficulty with it. There you go.
So now that the Viking Raiders has to get in the back of the line, who's going to be next to challenge the OC? Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows for the Raw Tag Team Championship? We're going to have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. We then had Eric Rowan versus
Dante Leon.
It was an interesting match. Not going to say no. But Eric Rowan won the match mainly because of the fact that, once again, they just don't learn. Don't mess with the man's pet, even though you're very curious of what the hell is in the cage. He got wrecked. That's what happened. I'm looking for what the hell is going on. That can't be it. This review sucks. It didn't show the rest. It just stopped at Eric Rowan. Okay, we'll be right back. I'll find more. Okay, that didn't take long. Next up, we have Bobby Lashley as well as Lana coming to the ring.
Oh, I gotta cover my eyes for this.
Yep. Apparently, they were dressed to the nine. Her in what I can only imagine is green leopard print a dress. Like, what the hell? And she actually issues Bobby Lashley a proposal where she wishes Bobby to ask her to marry her. Wait, what? Nowadays, women can propose to the men. That's okay. Yeah. But she wants him to propose to her? He comes out and says, I'm not going to have nobody tell me what to do. But you, I will. He gets on his knees and he proposes, and she's just... It's all about her. That's what it is, man. That's all what it is. And we have news that it will be a wedding on
the last Monday Night Raw of 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That shit don't... Oh.
I have a feeling that Rusev may crash the wedding. Because you know, whenever you see weddings at a wrestling show, something always goes wrong.
That or Kevin Owens shows up. He has beef with them.
Oh, yeah.
He kept saying, nobody cares! That's what he says. Okay, the next thing we have a gauntlet match for the number one contender for Rey Mysterio's United States title. We start off the match with R-Truth versus Akira Tozawa. Tozawa wins, ultimately knocking off R-Truth, and the chase is on once again for the rules of anytime, any place, anywhere.
The 24/7 championship.
And he's got a long ass name for it. I can't keep up. Next person in the gauntlet would be Ricochet versus Akira Tozawa. They both laid one hell of a match that lasted over 10 to 15 minutes because I skipped it mostly just to see who won. Because I was like, gotta get ready for bed for the next night. Just skipping through this. And I was like, damn, they keep wrestling for 15 minutes? Who the hell's going to pick the bones of these guys? In the end, it would be Ricochet who gets the win off of Akira Tozawa. And in comes a fan favorite, the all-purpose Matt Hardy. This is the third week in a row they use Matt Hardy. Finally, usually it's like one night and then you don't get to see it. But it's been 3 weeks and Matt Hardy put up one hell of a fight only to lose to Ricochet. He took out 2 people. The next person would be Humberto Carrillo, and this will be an interesting match because these two have been tag teaming for quite some time against the OCs, but for them to actually fight one another was a different story, and fans loved it. In the middle of the match, we would have Zelina Vega all of a sudden show up on stage and just watching as she's biting her lip. It was like, oh no. We know who's coming next. Ultimately, it would be Humberto Carrillo who actually pins a tired and worn out Ricochet to then have to go up against Andrade. In this match, Andrade actually got himself disqualified and continued to actually peel the protective mat outside the ring where the ramp is, exposing the concrete underneath it, and does his signature wrapped up DDT on poor Humberto's head, ultimately giving him a concussion. Rey Mysterio comes to his aid and is pissed that Andrade did that, and now it's looking like we are going to see, despite the gauntlet, Andrade versus Rey Mysterio. Sadly, this is the part where Seth Rollins' music comes out while they're carrying out Humberto, and we see AOP behind him, and we now know, because in his hands is the lead pipe Rey Mysterio gave to Kevin Owens to attack the AOP. He's holding a grudge against Rey Mysterio for aiding Kevin Owens with the lead pipe. They jump him. Rey Mysterio tries to defend himself, but cannot take on the 2 massive walls that are AOP, and they wreck him. Ultimately making him struggle, leaving the pipe for him to grab, only to step on the pipe and then pick him up and throw him around once again. And he says that? I'm going to let you say this.
You owe me one, Ray.
Is what Seth Rollins said to Rey Mysterio. And then while Rey Mysterio's trying to get up, he hits him with the curve stomp. And I'm like, damn. That ain't right. That ain't right, bro. We see highlights from AJ Styles and Randy Orton. About to say Rey Mysterio. For their match tonight to settle a grudge that has been boiling up to this point as the main event. Before that, we have an interview with Seth Rollins questioning him why would he do that to Rey. He said he's going to be the example of a leader and he'd settle that business and that he has still one piece of agenda. And that's challenging Rey Mysterio for the United States title next week. We then come back from commercial where Rey Mysterio says in Spanish that he is upset and does not like what Andrade did, that he will deal with Andrade But first, he accepts Seth Rollins' challenge for next week, Monday Night Raw. Tomorrow, because today's Sunday, so it'll be on the 23rd edition of December 2019. The last, like you said, last edition of Raw for the 2019 year.
Yep.
We then have a... what the heck? Asuka with Kairi Sane versus... Oh, a newcomer? From NXT, that's right. How you pronounce that? Dornana
Purrazzo.
Uh-huh. She ends up giving Asuka one hell of a fight, but Asuka puts her to sleep by submission, makes her tap out. I said put her to sleep, but puts her in the chicken wing lock and makes her tap out. Ah, yeah. We then have a interview with the Raw Women's Champion, the man, Becky Lynch, and how she feels going up against Asuka at the Royal Rumble. She's downing herself. And she has every reason to, because she pointed out that she's been on quite the losing streak. And TLC actually proved that. Asuka got the drop on her multiple times, saying that she needs Asuka, not for the fans, not for the title, but to prove that she has something to prove, that she still is one of the best. And to beat Asuka is to prove that. Yeah, family. Randy Orton makes his entrance. We then have Randy Orton versus AJ Styles.
The main events.
You want to cover that one, brother? There you go.
Sneaky. The OC runs down and attacks Orton. The Viking Raiders makes the save. The OC takes them all out and stands tall in the ring. He may have lost the battle, but at AJ Styles ORG and his hashtag Good Brothers just proved they are the only club that matters. And the winner was Randy Orton, giving AJ Styles the RKO.
AJ Styles was keeping tabs on his knee the whole entire time, trying to wear it out. In which case, it looked like it was going to work, because when he went for the phenomenal forearm, he held back and Randy Orton was jumping for the RKO, and he saw that nothing was coming. And when he landed, it agitated his knee. So AJ Styles was jumping on a wounded animal, Randy Orton being the case, but he still managed to hit the RKO and got the win. AJ Styles lost the battle, but with the OC, they jumped him. Dang it. And that's how the night of Monday Night Raw ended. Okay, so let's go ahead and... one second. NXT results.
While he's looking up the NXT for December 18th, it's time to do a shout out to the remaining members of the Heavens Monsters podcast. Myself, Xavier Hill, Mike Henry, and Andre Mitchell. A link to our 3 YouTube pages will be in the description box below as always. Make sure you hit like on our videos and subscribe to our channel. And the remaining shout out to Terrence, aka T-Money, Renee, Pharaoh, Chris Petrie, and Delvin.
You've been wanting to do that, huh?
Hell yeah.
I'll let you do that for all of them then.
Okay.
First up, we have a huge night of NXT. Starting this show off with the NXT World Championship. It's just the world title. But it's the WWE NXT Champion, it says right here. I thought they added world to it. I like the idea of world.
World Heavyweight title.
Yeah. With Adam Cole versus Finn Balor. These two would be so evened up that it would look like Finn Balor was going to get the win, but he would be interrupted by a surprise return of Johnny Gargano. Johnny Wrestling himself. The man, not too long ago, before War Games, he took out with a big DDT into the ramp between the stage and the ring. ultimately giving the distraction Adam Cole needed to not only, while the referee was distracted, give him a low blow and hit him with the running knee in the back of the head and retained his title for another reign going into 2020. Johnny Gargano gives his words that he's shocking return. Doesn't mean he's done being Johnny Wrestling. Hell yeah. Your thoughts on that?
I'm glad that he said that he's not done. Got some unfinished business.
Next up, we have an unsettled business with Killian Dane. He settled his issue with Pete Dunne last week. Now he's going to deal with Damian Priest, whose ribs, courtesy of War Games, well, not War Games, somewhere before that, his ribs were injured and his cracked. So he even had the tape around this area where his ribs are to show that. And Killian Dane took that to heart and whooped his ass. But sadly to say, he didn't.
Damian Priest got the job done against Killian Dane.
Mm-hmm. Injured and all. I thought he won. I thought Killian Dane won. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Damian Priest won. He won with the his move, the corkscrew looking move, like the Cody Rhodes. He does that. Next up, we would have Cameron Grimes and Kushida, a return match for their grudge against one another. But sadly to say, Cameron Grimes got Kushida for the win. So now they're evened up. We need a rubber match. Cameron Grimes has a win, and before that, Kushida got the win. And he had no info. Cameron Grimes jumped his opponent, which was, it was, Hispanic. Well, he jumped his opponent. And so he came in the ring and tried to beat him, but So now we need a rubber match. Next up, we have Io Shirai going up against Santana
Garrett.
There you go. Santana Garrett is a veteran and a Wonder Woman of her class. That was her story. She lost her father to cancer. She was previously a Women's of Wrestling WOW champion. And it's sad to say that we didn't get no coverage on that, but Io Shirai didn't care and got the win with a moonsaw off the corner ring. Ramp. Yeah. Next up, we would have Pete Dunne versus
Travis Banks.
Yeah, Travis. I'm about to say Travin. Remember that. And Damian Priest, with his wrestling style of breaking fingers, got the win. Next is what I believe stole the show, because damn, that was a hard-ass match. But from what we hear from T-Money, it was the Finn Balor versus Adam Cole that got the views, that gave him the win, that beat AEW in the ratings this week. Damn. How you feel about that?
So that's twice that NXT beat AEW. I was hoping AEW would go for another win, but guess AEW got to take that L, bro.
Mm-hmm. Personally, this is why I think this match stole the night, because with the main event being the women's champion Shayna Baszler defending her title against Rhea Ripley, this feud between these two women would heat up and collide at this night. That would actually prove one of the best matches this year, because of the fact that, man, Selena Baszler, damn, she nearly made her pass out so many times, and Rhea just kept getting back up, man. Ultimately, finally, actually grabbing that last breath of air and adrenaline to break out of her submission hold and nearly make her pass out. That's how bad. She actually gets up and just starts stomping on her face. I'm like, God damn! Aye! And it would get to the corner ring where she actually picks her up and slams her with an avalanche style of her finishing move and got the pin. And your new, finally dethroned Shayna Baszler, your new women's NXT champion, Rhea Ripley. The fans got in the ring, carrying her I was like, I thought that was the roster in the back. No, it was the fans.
Wow. How did they let the fans get into the ring?
No kidding. They had that ring packed. Everybody's going, ah. Picking her up, and she's just holding that trophy up. And it ended on that night. And she is happy. Now, I kind of think this is going to be interesting because they've been advertising this Worlds Collides for WWE. It's going to be an NXT special where they do have specials. They have cruiserweights, they had the tag teams, and they had the women's. This time around, it's NXT versus the sister brand, NXT UK. So we're going to see who's going to fight who and show NXT West versus East side. Like, damn. Because you think about it, North America
and South America.
On the north side.
Versus
West side. While the east side holds Europe, Africa, and all of Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So if Europe is on the east side, there you go. It's west versus east. Across this ocean. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, and there wasn't really much to cover except for the guy who played Star Trek on WWE Backstage. Booyah! 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 That was funny. The only thing we can take out of that is where Christian actually tried to do his impression of that guy. William Shatner, that's his name. And he actually wore the red sweater, paying homage to Bray Wyatt's Mr.
Rogers gimmick.
And he's singing the Firefly
Funhouse song.
What?
Why?
Oh, that is weird. That's the only thing I could take out of it. That was weird. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be it to cover. You have anything else? 2 cents. Your last thoughts, my brother.
I'm just glad that Rhea Ripley beat Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship, and I'm surprised that no security on hand. The entire fans picked up Rhea Ripley and congratulated her for becoming the new NXT Women's Champion.
I'm looking up Impact right now for the next one. There you go. Okay, I don't think that's it. If you like this video, ladies and gentlemen, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button right here if you like the content, and hit the notification bell right over here or there. I don't know because I think it's mirroring, so from our angle, it should be over here. But for all we know, it's over there. So hit that notification bell for the next Heaven Monsters podcast featuring me, your boy SergDragon, and right beside me, Xavier Hill.
Ballin'.
X-Man. And we will see you in the next episode. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.